you're seeing here, guys, is the new Toyota Zenix, the 2-liter V variant to be precise. So this is the lower end version compared to the hybrid that you've seen in the previous video. So of course, to lower the price point of the Toyota Zenix, you have to remove a few features in order to meet that price point. So wala ka na nung LED daytime running lights sa baba ng kanyang front bumper, but you still do get LED headlights. You also get 16-inch alloy wheels now as opposed to the 18-inch wheels of the hybrid model. But the rest of the side profile remains pretty much unchanged, except for the fact na wala ka na nung over fenders in Toyota's term sa kanyang side, sa kanyang wheel arches. And down the rear end of the Toyota Zenix, it's still pretty much identical from the hybrid model. You still get a power tailgate, thankfully. And yeah, that's actually really pretty much it. So I think it's a good time for us to explore the interior of this variant of the Toyota Zenix to check out whether you lose more features or not. So here inside the Toyota Zenix 2-liter V, you'd actually be surprised that at least the fundamental design is pretty much similar pa rin from the hybrid version. So you still get a 7-inch digital instrument cluster, the same infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wired, by the way, it's correction lang pala, it's wired Android Auto, but it's only the Apple CarPlay part where it's wireless. You still get a bit of soft touch material sa kanyang dashboard, but the doors now, pagdating dito sa 2-liter V, becomes hard plastic na yung top ng kanyang door panels. In terms of the seats as well, wala ka na ngayon ng leather upholstery, it's now fabric in a brown and black combination. Oh, and you also don't get the power adjustable driver's seat of the hybrid variant. Now, when you go to the rear seats of the Toyota Zenix, dun medyo mas pronounced yung kanyang changes. Though again, it's still pretty much a standout kasi it's one of the only few cars at that price point to get captain's chairs. Yun nga lang, compared to the hybrid version, yung captain's chairs nung itong version na to, itong 2-liter V, doesn't get the power adjustment for the recline and the Ottomans. Yun nga, the footrest part. If you really love the footrest of the hybrid version, na wala na siya dito pagdating sa 2.0V. And at least you still do get the ambient lighting. Let's just turn that on, which just like in the hybrid version is a multicolor ambient light. And yeah, you do have a few concessions, but it's not too much and okay pa rin siya for what the rest of the segment offers, because ang kalaban nito, I think, would be the, indirectly at least, the Geely Okavango. Though I would understand that there are a lot of people in our comment section actually who would want the Innova, or rather the Zenix to have a bench seat for the second row. So here's to hoping Toyota eventually releasing an Innova with a second row bench. But yeah.
Oh, and yes, we heard you guys that you want the panoramic sunroof. Well, just put your comments down below because sa totoo lang, the automakers do actually read your stuff.
Since I've now shown you the differences of the two variants, I think it's a good time for us to take this car for a drive to explore how the 2-liter Zenix compares with the past Innovas and the hybrid version. So now we're driving the new Zenix 2-liter V variant, and I think it's a good comparison to start first with this model compared to the hybrid, since syempre this is the least powerful of the two. So yes, this uses a 2-liter gas engine which produces actually healthy numbers, and it's not just a 2-liter gas engine na basta-basta na pinulit ng Toyota. It's actually a new 2-liter gas engine, or at least new in the Philippines, because this is their dynamic force gas engine that's made into a direct shift CVT. So before we talk about the driving experience, we have to talk about then the Toyota safety sense, or at least the lack thereof pala for this variant. So because this is not the hybrid, wala ka nung adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane departure warning, lane centering, the 360-degree camera system, automatic braking, and stuff like that, no? So now that the Toyota safety sense part is out of the way, how does the new Toyota Zenix feel like on the road? So totoo lang, it's a night and day difference compared to the body-on-frame Innova. This car feels really good on the road because the ride is so good. So okay, there's a bit of konting firmness at the rear suspension, but the part is hindi naman siya matalabog, di siya firm. It's still comfortable. Wafty pa rin ang ride niya. It's more of because of the fact that in an ASEAN setting where the roads are not that good, the Innova still has to perform or not look like nakasquat siya when the car is fully loaded with 7 people. So yeah, of course, when you load this car with 7 people, expect the ride to get even better. And apart from the improved ride, which is actually significant na nga sa totoo lang, the refinement aspect, the road wind noise and the engine noise lalo. Okay, to its credit, the previous Innova among body and frame cars ng Toyota, that felt like the least truck-like compared to the Hilux and the Fortuner, which all use the same IMV platform. Pero here in the TNGA C-based Innova, or rather Zenix, ang sobrang ganda nung road noise suppression. Ang tahimik niya eh. There's barely any road noise entering through the cabin. Di na nga siya diesel, it's a gas engine. And with the CVT, syempre the revs are kept low for the most part. Speaking of that CVT, by the way, the CVT actually performs well for the most part. The responses from when the car is not moving is pretty good. Yung nga lang, when you accelerate hard, medyo ando pa rin yung rubber band feel niya because it doesn't accelerate or doesn't pretend to have gear changes. So it really will hold on to the revs as you accelerate hard. Yet at the same time though, there's good progress from the engine. Okay, it doesn't have the pushing you back to your seat sensations that 2.8 liter diesel ng previous Innova. But it's good enough. It's good enough yung kanang hatak, yung kanang gas engine. Pero yun nga lang, I'm curious to find out how this engine will perform if it's fully loaded with 7 people. And then handling-wise, again, there's a night and day difference between this and the previous Innova in terms of handling. Because, yun na nga, since it's not anymore a body-on-frame car, it feels very car-like. And as a result of that, it's not just comfortable from the passenger's perspective, but also from the driver's perspective because you have lighter steering because it's now an electric power steering as opposed to the previous model's hydraulic steering. And that's the thing, comfort is the name of this car's game because though it's now in the TNGAC platform, don't expect this car to feel sporty nga lang. It's not the Innova's or rather the Zenix's intention. It's more of a comfortable-oriented MPV. We can't talk about the fuel economy that much though because we only have this car for a day. So syempre, I only do that in my full reviews when I have the car for at least a week. So now we've switched to the 2.0 hybrid, the Q hybrid, and immediately ang laki ng difference nila actually now that this is a hybrid because this is a lot smoother. So of course, being a hybrid at low speeds, the gas engine isn't running or at least it's not running if the battery's charged enough. Lagi kong sasabi sa mga reviews ko with the Toyota hybrid, ang sobrang instantaneous ang responses nila whenever you're at the city, and that applies here with the Toyota hybrid Zenix or the Zenix hybrid rather kasi outright pa lang, the 2-liter gas engine makes a lot of power for its size. And combine that with the instantaneous nature of the electric motors, ang ganda ng hatak niya. And it's not just the hatak that's really good, pero pati rin yung ano niya, yung smoothness niya on how it delivers at hatak. Because, okay, doesn't have the pin to the back of the seat motion as what you would get in the 2.8 diesel. Wala ka nung gano'n parang natutulak ka sa upuan. Pero, it's delivering power in a smooth and linear fashion that's really, really good. That's really unbelievably smooth compared to the diesel Innova. Sobrang ganda ng refinement levels niya now that it's a hybrid. So again, so in terms of handling, don't expect any differences in handling. Sa totoo lang, it's pretty much feels the same. The steering's on the light side, the suspension is on the comfort side. Ride is unaffected even if this car is a tiny bit lang naman na heavier because of the 1-point-something kilowatt-hour battery pack, which is, by the way, located under the front seats. Kaya meron ka makitang vents under the front seats, and that's because the batteries for the hybrid system are located there. Kaya that's the reason why there's a huge packaging advantage with this car because whether it's this or the non-hybrid Zenix, they have the same interior volume, they have the same cargo space. Usually kasi with hybrids, or at least back then in the day, the batteries would take up a bit of space for the legroom or kung di man sa legroom, sa trunk space. Pero here, because the batteries are in front seats nga, there's no effect in terms of yung kanyang space. Pero most importantly nga, the power delivery. Ang ganda ng power delivery niya. It's instantaneous. Wala ka nang downshift masyadong ina-anticipate because the transmission, the ECVT responds so well. And as usual with most hybrids ng Toyota nga, the electric motors will fill in the gaps or the lag of the transmission or the powertrain, the gas engine. Kaya it feels so smooth, so instantaneous, so linear in terms of the power delivery. And also, it's not just a subjective feeling pala, by the way, that this feels very responsive and smooth. at least in Toyota India's numbers, the Innova hybrid in their market is the fastest Innova to be ever produced. So, in terms of the 0 to 100 kph time, alam ko it's under 10 seconds. It's actually in the 9.5 second range na nga eh. Which is faster pa talaga compared to the Innova 2.8 diesel, which is in the 10 second mark. So, it's not just subjective, it's also objectively when you really do measure the 0 to 100 of this car. At least, again, if we're gonna be using Toyota India's numbers. Yun nga lang, since again, this is a short drive, so we can't comment that much on the fuel economy. But I'm pretty sure maganda ang magiging fuel economy to. Kasi, for example, yung yung RAV4 hybrid na naka 2.5 liter, that's doing 18 to 20 kilometers per liter. 2 liter lang to. Mas maliit yung engine niya. So, for sure, mas matipid pa to lalo. The Corolla Altis 1.8 hybrid and the Corolla Cross 1.8 hybrid were doing easily mga 20 kilometers per liter rin.
So, the new Toyota Zenix. Well, I think alam ko na bakit this car deserves a new name. Fundamentally speaking, itong Toyota Zenix feels a lot different from the previous generation, or at least rather, the body-on-frame Innova. Take note, the diesel Innova will still be sold unchanged. Now, because the Zenix style front will drive MPV with an available hybrid powertrain, talagang magbabagoin ka ng customer base. If you live in places where the roads are bad, and you still need the ruggedness of a body-on-frame MPV, then the Innova is still perfect for you. But if you want something more upmarket, more premium, and a lot more sophisticated to drive, then the the Zenix will be perfect for you. Take note, however, that this still isn't a full review, so our thoughts might change when we drive the car for a full week.